Hi there, folks. Widget Walls from BeatCoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. Here's how this works for the uninitiated among you. Here's how it works. I have just left the cinema where I have seen a film. I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. It's multitasking, just saves everybody a bit of time. So, this evening's selection is Hobo with a Shotgun. At last. So, Hobo with a Shotgun. Well, okay, so let me tell you about the film first, and then I will tell you the background for the approach to the film, for me, anyway. My take on it is that, basically, Hobo with a Shotgun was, if I'm remembering this correctly, won a competition for Best Grindhouse Trailer for the movie Grindhouse. And all these people made various and sundry. They got like other directors to make trailers. Werewolf Woman of the SS and Edgar Wright did Don't, and all these various people doing these various and sundry trailers, which were all various and sundry types of insane, right? So, but the one fan-submitted one was Hobo with a Shotgun, which got a lot of attention because it was utterly and completely mental. And because it pretty much was exactly what it said it was. It was a hobo going nuts with a shotgun. The whole justice one shell at a time thing, that whole rigmarole. And looked amazing. I mean, it was everything over the top about a grindhouse film that you would want. And I'm fairly, I think I remember right that it's the one that won. Regardless, it's the one that won in that it got made into a film. Not just a film, but a film with Rutger Hauer. And we were all excited about this because the film itself looked like it was insane, okay? And Rutger Hauer is Rutger Hauer, okay? He, even before you approach the film, I mean, this is the guy who brought you Roy Batty from Blade Runner. He brought you The Hitcher, right? He is an actor who really deserves to be, I don't know, he deserves to be, he's one of those that you just need to write a part for Rutger Hauer wherever possible so that you can give the man a check, because the man deserves some respect, okay? So they got huge points for saying, yes, Rutger Hauer, you're the man. And so you have that going into that is basically the setup. The synopsis is that this guy, the titular hobo with a shotgun, basically rides the rails into Hopetown, which is this complete, hellhole, in which the place is basically, it's all drugs and whores and it basically looks like it's this close to being a Mad Max film. I mean, literally. So it's in bad shape, right? So he goes in there, and his idea is, hey, I could save up some money, and I could buy a lawnmower, and I could mow people's lawns, and I could start my own business, which is pretty ambitious considering that I didn't see anybody with a lawn through the whole film. But regardless, it's good to have dreams, as the man says. So that is his idea. However, he is quickly having to deal with the fact that all this crime is running rampant. He finally is fed up with it, and he decides, well, the lawnmower was nice, but I'd rather spend my money on a shotgun and become a vigilante for justice. Now, let's go ahead and establish that there's nothing about that setup that is not awesome, because that is true. But you have to come into this film with a certain, we're talking about expectations. Here are my expectations for the film and why I think it works and why I'm so pleased with it. There was a place I used to live out somewhat in the country in North Alabama, and this was before you had all the chain video stores. I mean, they existed, but there was more like Video Village, and there was some other video one. But I think this was even pre-Blockbuster, before that whole thing took off. This was even when they had, now you can buy like a movie for $9.99 or something like that. Screw that. The VHS tapes, they were sold for rental. I mean, they didn't even have retail. You weren't supposed to buy VHS tapes of movies. They were like $100, and that was so that video stores could buy them and then rent them out to people. So you had that insanity, right? But so I remember there was this video store that was on the corner. It was like a gas station convenience store, and then like they had converted, I don't know, the back closet or something to being a video store. And it was roughly the size of this car, okay? But they had basically, that's the radio's on. They had basically the shelves everywhere they could fit shelves, and they were just completely stacked with all manner of videos. And I literally systematically went through. That is where I got my education on Michael Dudikoff films and crazy 80s horror movies and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I was literally going left to right through the shelves, renting, because it was North Alabama. I mean, there was nothing else to do. You had no internet. You had none of that stuff. So, and we had 3 channels. Anyway, before I start shaking my cane at all of you, my point is that I've seen a lot of really crazy, horrible 80s movies. And I have a soft spot in my heart for it, which I'm seeing a doctor about. But so I have that going on, right? You have that entire thing going on in my brain, along with the whole Grindhouse thing of just complete over-the-top stuff, and a bit of a trauma films of their gore and everything shooting everywhere. So, I mean, if you basically, Hobo with a Shotgun is what happens when you start with Grindhouse. You throw in every single insane 80s movie that you can come up with, right? And then you basically, throw a bit of a trauma sprinkling on the top for over-the-topness to take it just that much further. And that is the base for the souffle that is Hobo with a Shotgun. It's the worst cooking metaphor in the history of YouTube videos. Now, yes, okay, fine. You have crazy homeless guy with a shotgun and blood and guts going everywhere and carnage and just over-the-topness and stuff. Now, this wouldn't be nearly as entertaining without, first of all, Rutger Hauer, I'll get to it in a second, but also for the really crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top villains that you have in the form of Drake, the guy who runs the city. Oh, we're passing some of the Mad Max people now, apparently. Wow, they put neon on a bike. Really? Anyway, so is that for a better target? I don't know. Anyway, so basically, you have these crazed family of villains who are so cartoonish and over the top. And honestly, tell me if you see this film, tell me if I'm wrong. There's one of the sons of Drake named Slick, okay? And I swear to God, he stole the Corey's DNA. I mean, he's literally like an evil Corey. He is Dark Corey. You know what I'm talking about? The Coreys, right? Yes, he is like evil Corey. It's really frightening. And almost to the point, honestly, where I think that was the director's note to him. Play it like evil Corey. And it completely works. They're totally over the top, ridiculous, hilarious. You have ridiculous bits of dialogue as well that make the thing, bearable. If it was just gore and ridiculousness all through without some ha-ha moments of, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, then it wouldn't work. But the thing that just completely seals it is Rutger Hauer. Because in the middle of all of this mayhem, I mean just over-the-top, ridiculous nonsense going on, which is what you showed up for. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I mean, you can't watch the trailer and expect to go up, well, this is somewhat less dramatic than I thought it was going to be. No, you showed up for just craziness, okay? A completely mental film, and you're getting that. But what keeps it, what kind of keeps the lid on and keeps it from going too much in one direction, except for a few brief moments, maybe here or there, is Rutger Hauer. He's taking it seriously. I mean, and I think that's why the film works, is because he brings such weight to the role of this crazy homeless guy delivering vigilante justice with a shotgun. That the whole thing works. I mean, I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed the film, because I knew what I was getting in for, and I knew I wanted to see it. And by the way, I saw it at the Plaza Theater here in Atlanta, which is an old movie house, which is exactly where you want to see a film like this, okay? It was absolutely perfect. So I knew what I was getting in for. In fact, I wanted to see it at a place like the Plaza, because it's got that environment for it, right? But Rutger Hauer is a genius. I mean, he plays it perfectly. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, well, there's sometimes where there's a ridiculous role and people are playing it too seriously and it doesn't work, but here it completely and totally works. He lets his freak flag completely fly. He lets the lunatic out of the bag. It's great. But he does so in just, I don't know, it's a balanced role for an utterly imbalanced film. I think that's the best way of putting it. And that's why the entire thing works, is because Rutger Hauer is a genius. I mean, yes, you know, there are some moments where you just go, oh, wow, that was excessive. But then again, you can't get pissed off at excessive when the entire prospect of the film is excessive. There are some moments where you're just going, oh, my God. So it does push the limits, but that's what you showed up for. Again, it's like, you know, the scorpion crossing the river. You knew I was like this when you took me. Whatever that thing is. It's basically, if the film stings you on the top of your head, you have no one to blame but yourself. Again, a really terrible metaphor, but that's par for the course. Now, cup-wise, this is a difficult one. And I look forward to your letters, because I'm going to score this one very high. And the reason why is because when I score films, I score them against really themselves. So anyone going, well, why did you score Green Lantern this and you scored Transformers this? It doesn't really work that way. Not really. Because it doesn't make any sense. Because otherwise you would be saying, well, you know, why did you score Shakespeare in Love this, and why did you score Hobo with a Shotgun this? You can't really compare the two films. The only thing that's the same is the medium. Oh, and speaking of the medium, let me throw this out. Completely washed out, crazy looking way that they did the film. It looks like a print that has been left in the bed of a truck for like several days, which is perfect, exactly what you want. The colors are nuts. Anyway. So, cup-wise, I would give this normally like a 3.5 out of 5, okay? But Rutger Hauer is so good, I mean, just ridiculously good, that he earns it another half a cup, and I'm going to give it 4. So, you can send your letters if you want, but I'm telling you right now, it exceeded my expectations for the film that the film itself set up for itself. It was a great homage to 80s-tastic video. It really took me back to sitting in my parents' house. They're not knowing that I'm watching this crazy crap. So it really took me back and really nailed that right on the head. And was very entertaining. Not many people in the crowd, but we were just laughing our asses off because it was just so completely ridiculous. Had a great time with it. Now this is now out on video, but I wanted to see it on the big screen. If you have a chance to see it on the big screen, please do. If it's like a midnight showing or whatever else, or you've got some kind of movie house in your town that does these sort of things, honestly, you owe it to yourself to see it on the big screen. It's just that sort of film. It needs to be seen in a movie house, if possible. If not, I tell you something. If you are into this film, you got friends that are into this film, invite them over, cook up some popcorn, right? Get some beers out, have a blast, because you're really going to enjoy it a lot. And just like I said, there's certain people the film is not for. If If you looked at that trailer and you went, I don't know if that's for me, guess what? It's not for you. But if you looked at that trailer and you cackled madly, then yes, the film is for you, and I'm here to tell you it delivers. So I'm very happy about it. So there you go, Hobo with a Shotgun. Finally got a chance to see it. Thank you, Plaza Theater, for making that happen. I just want to take a second to say thanks again for everybody who watches these things. I hope they are of some help to you. I hope they save you a few bucks here and there, or point you to something that you might have been afraid of or whatnot. If you do enjoy these things, as always, we ask you to please stumble them, Facebook them, whatever it is that you do. If you're on Google+, however that works on there, whether you poke it with a stick, I don't know. Whatever it is that you do to spread the word about stuff that you like online, if you do like this, if you don't like it, I'm not asking you to do it just because I'm asking you to, but if you do like it, take a second and tell somebody else about it, because it's the traffic that really helps us keep these things going. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and about to get back on yet another interstate, and we will see you next time. So, bye.